afternoon. My name is John Lewis. I'm the Member Engagement Coordinator for the Midwest here at the TCIA. And today I'm here with Peter Gerstenberger.
Peter Gerstenberger, Senior Vice President for Industry Expertise at TCIA. I head up our regulatory affairs efforts.
You know, we're here today specifically to talk about the recently released emergency temporary standards. Can you tell our audience what the ETS is?
Sure. This is an OSHA Emergency Temporary Standard, or ETS. It covers employers of more than 100 employees, and it requires those employers to have their people vaccinated for COVID or tested on a regular basis.
Now, Peter, how did the ETS come to fruition?
This ETS was one of two presidential mandates dealing with COVID. We'll talk a little bit about the other one in just a minute. So this is basically the Biden administration telling OSHA, we need you to do this and we need you to do this now.
Now, Peter, our members, primarily work outside. So what a lot of us would like to know is, will there be any exceptions to the rule?
That's a real good question. It's interesting in the text of the ETS as it came out, there was an exception granted for work done exclusively outside. However, if you read the fine print of that regulation, it says that if you're getting to and from the job in the same vehicle with your coworkers, that exclusion will not apply. So at least at this point in time, the way we interpret the rule, it's not going to apply to our members. So those of us with over 100 employees are going to be in the soup trying to comply with this law.
Talk to me a little bit more about the 100-member rule, how that will affect some of our members with fewer than 100 employees.
Sure. Well, let me talk about the companies with more than 100 employees first. As you can imagine, that affects a lot of our larger national and regional companies, and it is the total number of employees the company has, not however many they may have in any one establishment, any one office. So for those national and regional companies with more than 100 employees, we expect to see pretty significant attrition of their employee workforce as a result of having to try to comply with this law. Some have projected as high as 40% attrition of a workforce that is already decimated, that is already below the capacity those companies need to perform what they're doing. So it's going to have a pretty significant impact on some of those larger members. For the companies with fewer than 100 employees, ironically, one of the things we're kind of contemplating is that employees driven from some of the larger companies could actually try to find employment with some of the smaller companies. You remember we mentioned that there was a second mandate dealing with COVID, and this is the federal contractor mandate, and this is something that could directly impact companies of any size. Companies who do federal contracting already, or as of recently, are required to 100% vaccinate their field force or their employment force in order to maintain those federal contractors. What we've heard is that not only does it affect the federal contractor directly, but it also impacts some of the subcontractors that work for that federal contractor, which lets in even more of our members. So there is a mandate that is going to impact even our smaller companies directly.
Peter, that's great that we're here today and we're getting the message out via the live stream. Can you talk to me a little bit more about how the TCIA is trying to share that information with the rest of the industry?
Absolutely. So as we said, this rule was promulgated literally this morning in the Federal Register. We've already sent an alert to all our members with some preliminary information about the requirement. It's a large document that we have to digest. There's likely to be all sorts of legal resistance to this and legal challenges mounted to this. But for the time being, we've sent out an alert this morning to all of our members, regardless of size, talking the higher points of this regulation. As time goes on and we're able to digest this more and more information becomes available about legal challenges, et cetera, we'll certainly keep our members informed via email alerts and possibly other channels.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Hey, you're welcome.
I really appreciate you taking the time to share this information that's so vital to our industry.
Sure. And as always, a message to the members out there, if you have any questions about this or have any specific input, please give us a call. or email us at the office, or in some way contact us and let us know your concerns. We'd like to hear from you.